welcome to the third episode in this gift guide series. If this is your first time tuning in, I've decided to do things a little bit differently this year. Instead of creating a video in the traditional style, I have decided to highlight some fantastic small businesses who have some fantastic options to help you make more sustainable choices this Christmas. If you haven't seen the first video in this series, I will link it in the description box because it goes into much more detail on why I decided to create this series and also why shopping and supporting local and small businesses is something that's close to my heart. Next up, we are heading over to Forfar, to a relatively new favourite of mine over on Castle Street. And I am speaking about Autumn Wren, the zero waste shop with an aesthetic that will speak to even the most eco-unconscious. Now, some of you following this series from the beginning might be thinking, hang on a minute, she's already spoken about a zero waste shop. But let me be clear, just because you've seen one zero waste shop doesn't mean you've seen them all. The beauty of small businesses is that they all have their own identity, even if they share similar niches. With that being said, let me show you what gems these guys have on offer. I think it's only right that I start off by sharing the product that nearly got me coined as the crazy cup lady. I'm talking about my growing collection of neon cactus. Now, it all started with my discovery of their glass 1 litre water bottles, which also come with a silicone protector around the bottom and a nifty little top handle. Now, for me, these bottles have been an absolute game changer. I am somebody who prefers to drink out of glass bottles rather than plastic because I do feel that plastic bottles alter the taste of my water, but I also feel that glass bottles stop the water from getting too warm. The problem I've always had with other glass bottles is that they generally come in a size of about 330 ml. Now for me, on a busy day, that just actually made it a lot harder for me to get the amount of water in that I need because I would quickly get through the contents of the bottle and then I could easily get distracted and not remember to fill it back up. Now when you're trying to drink a minimum of 2 litres a day, that's quite a few refills within the working day. But also because a glass bottle is generally colder to the touch and keeps your water colder, I was finding that a glass bottle made purely out of glass was a bit too slippery and it can be a bit cold to kind of hold and carry around with you. So that's where the nifty top handle comes in handy. I kid you not, thanks to these bottles, not a day goes by that I don't drink at least 2.5 litres of water a day. I actually have 2 of these bottles that I use on rotation. But it took a little bit more than just those 2 bottles to get me that nickname. I then discovered the glass coffee cups with a silicone hand protector. And again, later on, I discovered the taller smoothie cups with a reusable straw. So that's 4 neon cactus items for me already. I then had family and friends that saw mine and asked me to pick up some for them. And that was a mixture of the bottles and the coffee cups and the smoothie cups. So now you can see why the nickname was warranted. But not only from that story can you see that I love the products, but you can see how they were actually really great gift items for the people around me. Another item on the self-care spectrum are the products from Wild Rose Botanicals. Now this is a brand that prides themselves on simple, vegan, organic products. Now Autumn Wren stock a variety of products from this brand, ranging from beard oils, bath salts, and even dry shampoo. I mean, if nothing else, bath salts is a traditional gift, if there ever was one. Now, anybody suffering with aches and pains or who actually just needs a little help relaxing will certainly thank you for gifting them that little moment of luxury. Now, while we're talking about a little moment of luxury, for me, to go with those bath salts, a scented candle would help to create the perfect ambiance. Can you actually believe that we are already on the 3rd video in this series and I have not yet spoken about gifting scented candles? Madness, considering the scented candle craze that is upon us. Everybody is looking for the perfect scented candle for just about every season. And don't worry, we've got you covered. We've got you covered while still thinking about the environment and actually thinking about your pocket. The brand Waxy, as in WXY, pride themselves on a fair price point and also prioritise their products being recyclable. This brand have a nice variety of scents that aren't overpowering, which you know for me is a tick, but also they have a simple aesthetic. Autumn Wren also have the waxy diffusers on offer. They also have some different candle brands as well if this one is not quite what you're looking for. I'm going to step away from self-care items for a moment because as much as I do like to receive that kind of gift, I feel like I'm at an age or point in my life. Let's go with point in my life because it makes me feel a little bit less aged. I'm at a point in my life where I'm much more excited about items for my home. Now, I know that's a tricky one because interiors are such a personal thing and that one can quite quickly go south if it's not quite right. Now, I feel like the way to get around that is to go for items that somebody may need but might not actually get around to buying for themselves. So for me, I have a strong desire to create one of those beautiful, Instagrammable, eco-friendly kitchens where everything's displayed in lovely glass jars and just perfectly organised. But my priorities often keep my money in other directions, which means that my steps towards that vision are often put on hold. So if anyone's wondering what comes at the top of my Christmas list, it is the acacia jars stocked at Autumn Wren. You could be asking yourself, what makes these jars any different from the ones that are being sold by big retailers? The wooden lids from these jars are actually made out of shrubs rather than trees, which means that the growth rate to replenish the materials that have been used to create the product are actually a lot quicker and more sustainable. The glass part of this product is actually quite similar to that used for Pyrex, which makes them quite sturdy, but they actually are still pretty light. They have all of the sizes that you could want, including little spice jars, and the lids actually come in a nice variety of grains, shades. I'm not sure what the right word would be there, but that means that you can choose a lid to suit the aesthetic of somebody's personal style. But perhaps everyone isn't as easily pleased as me. So to make things even better, you can actually fill the jars with any of Autumn Wren's plastic-free sweets that they have on offer in store. At this rate, I think I'm actually going to be adding this one to my own stocking. I feel like with the power of social media, interiors and taking pride in every aspect of your home has become that much more popular. It seems like everybody is chasing that picture-worthy fridge. No judgment, I'm one of those people. And if somebody wants to gift me some of these items, I might be a little step closer. Because mine certainly is not photogenic at the moment. And by these items, I mean Beeswax food wraps. These nifty little kitchen accessories are designed to replace a number of single-use plastic food preservers. And they can be used in so many different ways. They're said to last you about a year, and once they're no longer usable, they are generally biodegradable or can actually just be added straight onto a compost heap. They have actually become quite popular of late and come in a nice selection of different styles, colours, patterns. So at Autumn Wren, they actually have more than one brand of beeswax wraps, so I'm sure there'll be an option out there to suit everyone. The next brand I want to talk about has been featured a few times on this channel, but for quite different products, and that is Tabitha Eve. I know I may be repeating myself on points that I've made before about this brand, but I don't mind saying it again. Tabitha Eve are a brand that are making a more sustainable lifestyle more visually appealing. There can be the feeling that trying to live a more sustainable lifestyle means focusing purely on the practical, and that somehow you're no longer allowed to like nice things. I really like the fact that this brand is really bridging the gap here with their beautiful designs, and the designs are actually really on trend. I personally have my eye on their bold covers, because one thing that I really don't like to do is when I've created a mixture in a bowl, I don't like to have to transfer that in to a storage container, because for me that is just a creation of unnecessary washing up. And honestly, I'm not about that life. For me, every little shortcut helps. But they also have some really nicely designed neutral lunch bags, which I think would make quite a universal gift. So far this video has felt quite adult-centred, so let's just give a moment to the little ones in our life. Children's gifts can be a head scratcher for so many different reasons. There are a lot of factors to consider. Another question is around the longevity of these items. Not just because of the quality and how well they will withstand play before they break, but also another factor or question to consider is how long that item or toy will be relevant to a child's interest or their development. So overall, waste in this industry is mind-blowing. However, there are alternatives, like from the brand Rory. The actual set on offer at Autumn Wren is hospital themed. But not only that, the characters in this playset are actually very diverse, which I can't stress enough is extremely important. It's important for toys to be representative, but I also feel like a set like this could be beneficial to a child's development because a lot of their growth and development, I'll say it again, comes through play. So exposing them to diversity will make their imagination and view of the world a lot more balanced than perhaps generations gone by. So for me, this set gets a yes for many reasons. Having said that, this is not the only plastic-free playset on offer at Autumn Wren. One thing I don't think I've touched on much on this channel prior to this series is the environmental impact of the fashion industry. Now, just because I haven't mentioned it much doesn't mean that it's not something that I'm concerned about or aware of. The impact of the fashion industry has been spoken about and acknowledged a lot more in recent years in the media, and we are being encouraged to buy less and make the use of what we have. When it comes to children, they grow so fast that it feels like you've no sooner bought the next size up that it's actually out the door already and you're moving on to the next. So you can see how quickly that waste produce can add up. One thing you can do to lessen the environmental impact of children's clothes is to really consider the materials and the processes used to create that item. Well, the guys over at Autumn Wren have been doing just that and are offering some really cute bits for kids. One of the brands on offer is Mama Siesta, who use organic cotton to produce their clothing, which means there is less CO2 emissions produced than conventional cotton, and the soil has been nurtured in a more natural way. There was actually a really nice post over on Autumn Wren's Facebook page, so I will link that down below too, just in case anybody is interested in exploring that a little bit further. There are more products on offer in store from this brand, but I am trying really hard to keep this video at a digestible length. Last but no means least on my list, we are covering another industry riddled with waste. And I'm talking to the makeup lovers. This is another industry that moves at a rapid rate. If you are a makeup wearer, think about how many times you may have had to throw a product away before you've been able to use it within its use by period. Think about what you do with your tubes, your palettes, your pans once you've finished with them. Nowadays, I am haunted by images from videos that I used to watch with makeup collections that were so huge that it wouldn't be humanly possible for one person to actually use that many products. And then they were often coupled with decluttering videos, which meant that barely used products were thrown in the bin. Luckily, there are a few brands trying to find less harmful solutions, and one of them being Zao. Not only are they vegan and come in bamboo tubes, but they are also refillable. And I, for one, feel like this is a huge step in the right direction. And if all of that isn't good enough, this brand is also organic, which is a whole other consideration just on its own, and something that's really important to consider, given the fact that anything that we put on our skin inevitably is absorbed within the body. This could be the perfect gift for the makeup lover in your life, because one thing about makeup lovers, we do like to try a new product. Now that brings us to the end of my Autumn Wren highlights. Please don't take this guide as an exclusive list to everything that they have in store, because they really do have so much more on offer. As with all of the businesses mentioned in this series, I am not affiliated with them in any way. I've not been sponsored, and this is not a paid partnership. I am purely just showing some love to this wonderful addition to the Forfar High Street. As I've said before, my non-locals, please do check the description box. I have tried to link as many products as I possibly can so that you are able to purchase the items directly from the supplier. If you are a local, I would strongly suggest you supporting two businesses at once this Christmas by either popping in store or making a purchase directly through their website at no extra cost to yourself. As always, I hope that you have enjoyed watching along, or at the very least, I do hope that you are inspired by the gifts featured. If you did enjoy them, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. That way you can be notified when the next videos go up. And trust me, you don't want to miss it because we really do have some exciting times ahead. I at least hope you will come back for the next gift guide video because no, we're not finished yet. I actually have 2 more businesses that are very different from the ones that have already been mentioned. And trust me, you won't want to miss them.